The brilliant start to the season we had, but does that mean everyone should start to panic? Absolutely not. As much as we dreaded recording this analysis due to the underwhelming result and performance, we did manage to find some positives from the game, and that's exactly what we're going to explain in today's video. What Liverpool did right and wrong against Forrest, which led to the unexpected loss at Anfield. So hit that like and subscribe button, and let's jump straight into it. As we mentioned in our match preview, Liverpool have been the most predictable side in terms of lineup so far this season, and this proved to be correct once again. Arne Slot went into his third consecutive match with the same starting 11. Alisson, Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson, and Trent formed the defense, with Gravenberch and Mac Allister as the double pivots. Dominic Szoboszlai operated higher up the pitch behind the offensive trio of Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz, and Mohamed Salah. Nothing unusual there, really. It's safe to say that the Reds' build-up play has been as fluid as ever. We utilized a back three with the usual double pivot, with Gravenberch, Trent, Mac Allister, and Szoboszlai constantly rotating positions in central areas. We saw the 3-1-6 with Gravenberch or Trent as the sole pivot, and we even saw the classic 4-2-4, with both fullbacks pushing high and wide. These constant rotations allowed Liverpool to slowly progress the ball during the first half as Nottingham Forest's block was dragged from side to side, creating spaces for our players to receive the ball. Another key point to highlight from the first half is how the Reds managed to sustain pressure in the opposition's half. If you watched our match preview, you'll recall we emphasized the need to limit Nottingham Forest's chances to counter by squeezing the pitch as much as possible through a high defensive line. This is exactly what Liverpool did, regaining possession quickly either through counter-pressing or by having our centre-backs step high into the opposition's half. Here, we should mention Ibrahima Konate's brilliant first-half performance. Acting as the first man to step up to the halfway line, he won all 4 of his aerial duels, which was crucial in preventing Forrest from breaking out. But as we know, we finished the first half with the score still goalless. So, if our build-up play was so good, why didn't we manage to unlock any clear scoring opportunities? The Reds had 6 shots on target, with only 1 chance being created in the first half. Luis Diaz's brilliant solo effort, where he fought to regain possession and hit the post, is not included among those chances, as it wasn't technically on target. In reality, our best chance came from Alexis Mac Allister's header, which the goalkeeper saved with a fantastic leap. So, why didn't Liverpool create more from settled play? As patient as our build-up was, our actions in the final third were extremely rushed. That sequence when Szoboszlai broke through and rushed his pass is a prime example. Speaking of Szoboszlai, as much as we appreciate his impact without the ball, his creativity in the final third was questionable in this match. This brings us to a player the Reds missed, Harvey Elliott, who is sidelined with a long-term injury. Elliott has the ability to find those pockets of space to deliver a cross or slip a teammate through, an invaluable trait when facing a team that sits in a low block and refuses to press, much like Nottingham Forest did. This brings us to another question. Ipswich, Brentford, and Manchester United all employed a high press against us, which played directly into our hands. Our ability to lure the press and exploit the spaces behind was more than sufficient to dismantle these sides. However, when facing teams like Nottingham Forest, who sit deep, we need to be more inventive in the final third, something that Arne Slot will need to address sooner rather than later. And without a special player like Harvey Elliott available, it becomes all the more evident. You can see here that the Reds misplaced 22 of their 91 passes in the attacking third. Upon closer inspection, you'll notice that most of these misplaced passes were long balls directed towards the penalty area, highlighting just how rushed Liverpool's attempts were to get the ball into the opposition's box. Unfortunately, this tendency to force passes into the final third, with players lacking that creative spark, continued into the second half, only this time it was even worse. Firstly, Liverpool lost the control and sustained pressure they had maintained throughout the first 45 minutes. In fact, we struggled to create any significant chances in the second half. This is why those opportunities for Diogo Jota and Szoboszlai's header now seem even more valuable in hindsight. As a result, Forrest began to grow into the game, and to better explain this, just look at their expected goals, XG, in the first half. It was 0. Yes, they didn't have a single opportunity to score. However, the second half told a different story. Their entries into the final third increased from 22 in the first period to 34 in the second, largely due to the tactical changes made by Steve Cooper. Cooper introduced Anthony Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi, two players we warned about in our match preview, highlighting how dangerous they could be when combined with Morgan Gibbs-White. In fact, we breathed a sigh of relief when we saw that this trio wasn't starting the match together. But once they took to the field, not only did they pose a significant threat, but they also combined to score the winning goal, ending Nottingham Forest's 50-year winless streak at Anfield. Let's break down how we conceded that costly goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who had been pushed further up the pitch in an attempt to compensate for our lack of creativity, tried to force the ball into a congested area, with Darwin Núñez as the intended recipient. Unfortunately, Núñez lost his duel, leading to a transition moment for the opposition, something we'd warned about in the preview video. Here you can clearly see Elanga, Gibbs-White, and Hudson-Odoi surging towards our backline, with Gibbs-White occupying Ibrahima Konate in the center. Elanga smartly switched the play to the left-hand side, where Hudson-Odoi found himself in a one-on-one against Bradley. Despite 3 Liverpool players attempting to close him down, the former Chelsea man managed to unleash a shot from outside the box, bringing an end to our clean sheet and undefeated run this season. The reaction after the goal was, to put it mildly, underwhelming. The Reds were once again unable to unlock Forrest's deep defensive block and failed to create any meaningful chances in the closing stages. Now, should we all panic and start questioning the process? Absolutely not. Arne Slot has led us to a brilliant start this season, and people seem to forget that we are in a transitional period following Jurgen Klopp's departure. These shocking results are, unfortunately, part of that process. This sort of result is exactly what can spur the necessary improvements and adaptations from the new manager. It gives Arne Slot and his team a chance to identify areas in need of adjustment within the system. Performances like this will also underline specific gaps in the squad, gaps that both Slot and the management will undoubtedly aim to address in the upcoming transfer windows. Take, for example, the fact that Harvey Elliott is currently our only midfielder who can unlock deep defensive blocks. Clearly, this isn't a sustainable approach. The depth of the squad will need to be reinforced to ensure we don't find ourselves in similar situations going forward. Does this defeat sting? Absolutely. There's nothing quite as frustrating as suffering the first loss of the season at home, especially against a side like Nottingham Forest. But it's no reason to sound the alarms. The season is long, and results like this can serve as a necessary reality check. They bring the team back down to earth, forcing both the players and coaching staff to buckle down and work even harder to avoid the same mistakes and improve where we're lacking. As supporters, our role now is to stand firmly behind the team. We need to keep pushing together in order to achieve the best campaign possible during this sensitive transitional period. This is when the club needs our backing more than ever. So, what did you make of the performance? Do you think the Reds have lost some of their clinical edge compared to the first few matches, given the missed opportunities in the opening half? And do you believe Slot will continue to struggle against teams that sit deep, refusing to press high? Or was this just an isolated blip, with the team set to bounce back soon? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Liverpool content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.